I love Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters loves me. In fact, I'm actually wearing a Dion Waiters shirt right now. So I'm probably not the best person to talk to you about the season Dion Waiters had last year. Now he's going to improve this year? Or am I? Intro! Dion Waiters won my heart and the hearts of many others when he went on an absurdly clutch run in late 2017, burying clutch shots against the Warriors and the Cavs and turning Miami into Waiters Island. Then a knee injury and a questionably lucrative contract happened, and it caused many Miami fans to turn on him. Except for me, because, I'm loyal. Anyways, Waiters' knee got worse, and he missed over a year rehabbing. And he drew criticism for gaining weight during his rehab and Instagramming himself playing Fortnite. Not exactly the best look when you're expected to be this clutch basketball player. Without him in the lineup, the Heat team struggled to find an identity, mainly hoping that its core of role players could scrape together enough points to win games. Spoelstra constantly tinkered with the lineup, including moving Justice Winslow to the point guard slot after an injury to the Polish Dragon, Goran Dragic. And that turned out to be a positive move, and it gave Heat fans something to look forward to on the court that wasn't D-Wade's next jersey swap. And then, on January 2nd, he returned. Dion Waiters. Any basketball fan's general impression of Waiters is that he's a chucker. He's an absurdly confident player who'll shoot the ball at any times, no questions asked. His bricked garbage time threes on his return seem to confirm this. So then why in a season where he had career highs in effective field goal percentage, offensive rating, true shooting percentage, and shot a respectable 38% from downtown seem like such a letdown? Well, his points per game dropped. Most importantly, his clutch shots were no longer falling, as he was a team worst, 2 for 28 in those situations. A reason for the dip in points per game can be explained by the fact that he just didn't shoot as much. But Dion Waiters is a perennial chucker, so why didn't he shoot as much? Well, for starters, he completely changed his game. His game is now based on him living behind the three-point line, and I mean literally living there. He basically just stands there and waits for the ball to come to him. This is especially true when he's not playing point. There's a lack of movement in his game, and no real noticeable desire for him to get more open, to call for the ball, so he just kind of finds his space and waits. This shows up on the stat sheet as well. 60.5% of Waiters' shots this season came from behind the arc, a career high, and the first time he's ever taken more than 50% of his shots from deep. The mid-range shots that were once a part of his chucking arsenal are mostly gone, as only 17% of his shots came from inside the three-point line and outside of 5 feet from the basket. So, with dribble drives and three-pointers being the new move, he was zeroing in on the most effective parts of his game. So why wasn't it more successful? When Dion doesn't try to get himself a better shot, he'll settle. And being confident in nature as he is, he will take a shot just to take a shot. And that does lead to bad shots. And when he's shooting less, that's a problem. Especially when you look at his efficiency and realize that this all could be going better. Because, if he had great looks, with the good effective percentages he's got, he'd be an outstanding player. His shooting efficiency stats are already comparable to that of Chris Middleton's this year. And Middleton's an all-star with a leading role on a championship-contending team. What the staff needs to do is find a clear role for him. If he's purely going to be a spot-up 3 guy, he could do that from the bench as a 6th man and give the Heat a reason to search for a better true point guard and still give minutes to young Winslow in case the point justice thing fizzles out. Plus, Dion Waiters could easily gain his starting spot back if he starts playing better and showing signs of the player he was in late 2017. Ego could be a factor in him excelling from a bench role, however, as he complained vocally about his lack of minutes, despite him not yet being fully recovered from his injury. Another common concern is that he's played his best in contract years. He has 2 years left on his contract, so he may think that he can just take a load off this year and get himself paid again next year. I don't know if that'll be the case, but anyways, here's what I think his most realistic path to success is. As sad as I am about Dwayne Wade retiring, and believe me, I cried, him and Waiters were not a deadly combo on the court together, with a -11 net point differential last year. The one season that the Heat had without D-Wade was Waiters' best season of his career, as he stepped into Wade's role as the closer and led the Heat to a crazy second half run. With Wade on the floor, Dion had less opportunity to be Dion. See him passing the ball up to Wade often. And you saw this against the Warriors. Even though that was the right move, given the players involved and Dion clutch percentages, it also showed that he had less opportunities to flow himself into a rhythm that could provide the same spark like he did in late 2017. And Dion wouldn't have to come off the bench either necessarily. In fact, him being a number 1 option wouldn't be that far out of the question. When the Heat's de facto number 1 option, Josh Richardson, was hindered with an injury for 6 games, Waiters averaged himself 19.6 points per game, off of 46% shooting and 42% from deep during that run. So, when he does get his looks, when he does get his shots as an option, it works out pretty good. And last year, Dion Waiters wasn't even really himself. The explosiveness that once made his dribble drives a deadly weapon seemed to fade in and out. You could tell something was up, and the Heat front office noticed. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra have both said that he wasn't really fully recovered, and as such, he was kinda out of shape. Dion says that he has a plan to fix this. A really good plan, he says. That kinda sounds like something that somebody without a plan would say, but I believe him. I watch his Instagram stories. He's looking better. A return to peak physical form would be the exact fix he needs to truly excel in his new role with his new game. More movement in his game would allow him to get better open shots and also get the extra step driving to the basket and be a better part of game flow with the shots that's working better than it ever has before. We already saw what could be with Philly Cheese Dion. Now it's up for him to take the steps to make it there, and up for the coach and the front office to believe in him and put him in a role where he can succeed and be Dion Waiters again, because I see a future where this is entirely possible. Well, that's the video for watching this Dion Waiters. Sorry for anything bad I said about you. Love you forever.